The show begins with our main character, Xiao, rushing among reporters to capture pictures of a famous actress, Han Yuner. It's mentioned that she's about to reveal her boyfriend's identity today. Xiao manages to reach the hotel just in time as Yuner and her rumored boyfriend step out. Surprisingly, she recognizes the guy with Yuner and calls him Shu Yichen. Suddenly, when she is about to take pictures, someone pushes her from behind, causing her to fall along with her camera. Yichen notices this and instructs his driver to help her up and place her in the car. In the next scene, Yuner is upset with Yichen for letting the reporter into their car. She demands he get rid of her. However, he discloses that Xiao is actually his wife, not just a reporter. This revelation unveils that Xiao and Yichen are childhood friends, whose fathers were business partners. As a result, their fathers arranged a childhood marriage for them, making them husband and wife at a young age. Hearing this, Yuner angrily leaves the car, and Xiao joins Yichen in the back seat. An argument ensues, with Xiao expressing her frustration about Yichen revealing their relationship publicly, and also demanding compensation for her broken camera. Yichen offers his credit card, urging her to buy whatever she needs, but Xiao declines and exits. Later, she returns to her apartment after finishing her office work, only to find Yichen already waiting inside. His presence surprises her, and she questions how he entered her apartment. Yichen explains that his father-in-law gave him the keys, and he proposes that it's time for them to live together as husband and wife. Xiao notices that Yichen has opened a special gift she has received and is sipping tea made from it. The gift was given by Yichen's brother, Ji Qiming, who happens to be Xiao's first love. We learn that when Yichen was away for his studies, Xiao got closer to Qiming, and the two started developing feelings for one another. At present, Xiao scolds Yichen for spoiling her gift and asks him to cook a dish for her. Our hero complies and prepares a cup of instant noodles for her. Later in the day, Qiming pays a visit to Xiao's apartment and brings along some food for her. Xiao explains that she's not feeling well, and Qiming suggests that she go to the hospital. However, Xiao insists that her condition isn't that serious and will improve with time. During their conversation, Qiming notices that the gift he gave her has been opened and asks about the taste of the tea. Even though Xiao hasn't actually tasted it, she fibs and claims the tea was good. Detecting her hesitation, Qiming realizes she's lying and becomes upset. He then learns that Yichen visited her during the day and gets jealous. Stating that he loves her more, Qiming attempts to make advances, but Xiao stops him. She reminds him that Yichen is still his brother and she's his sister-in-law. Upon hearing this, Qiming feels remorseful and falls silent. The following day, Yichen comes to Xiao's office to pick her up for a dinner event. However, to our heroine's dismay when she gets into the car, she discovers a beautiful girl already seated inside. Xiao assumes that the girl must be Yichen's celebrity girlfriend, which makes her uncomfortable. Feeling out of place, she decides to leave the car and returns to her office. Around the same time, Xiao receives a call from her leader urging her to attend a party at Jinhu Villa to gather information. At first, Xiao hesitates, but when her leader promises her 3 days of leave following the task, she agrees to participate. The scene then shifts to Jinhu Villa, where attendees are presenting their invitation cards to enter the gate. However, as Xiao lacks a card, she waits at the entrance. The guards notice her and assume her to be the babysitter arranged by their employer, Miss Song. They then escort her into the villa, where Xiao is tasked with looking after a group of children. Surprisingly, Yichen is also among the party guests, accompanied by Yuner. During the party, Yuner attempts to approach Yichen, trying to get close to him. But to her dismay, he coldly asks her to keep her distance and walks away. Miss Song then approaches Yuner, expressing sympathy. In response, Yuner shows her a photo of Xiao, mentioning that Yichen has been spending time with her lately. Song remarks on how Yichen could be with such an unattractive paparazzi reporter and belittles Xiao's appearance. On the other hand, Xiao befriends a little girl named Coco while looking after the kids. When Coco says she's hungry, Xiao accompanies her to a place where the little girl believes she can find delicious food. While they're away, Song addresses the crowd in a speech. However, after she finishes, a caretaker informs her that Coco has gone missing. The caretaker also mentions that a girl was leading her out of the house. When the caretaker presents pictures, Yichen is surprised to see Xiao and immediately instructs security to search for her. Meanwhile, Song hatches a scheme. She starts crying, pretending that Coco is her adopted child, and gains the attention of the guests. Shortly after, when Xiao and Coco return to the room, security guards seize our heroine and forcibly bring her before the guests. Song continues to cry, clutching Coco, and accuses Xiao of attempting to kidnap her daughter. Despite Xiao trying to claim her innocence, the crowd sides with Song. They are ready to hand her over to the police, but just then, Yichen intervenes. He helps Xiao to her feet and announces to everyone that she is his wife, granting her the authority to be at the party even without an invitation. He explains that Xiao is fond of children, which is why she's looking after Coco. Yichen then escorts Xiao out of the room and to his car, surprising everyone in the room. In the parking lot, Yuner approaches Yichen and confronts him about not giving her attention as of late. However, our hero completely ignores her and enters the car. Inside, he pulls Xiao closer, and noticing her anger, he shares a secret with her. He reveals that Yuner is actually the sister of his late best friend, who asked him to take care of her before he passed away. In the next scene, Song contacts her boyfriend Yoon, who also happens to be Yuchen's uncle. She urges him to take revenge on Xiao for disrupting her party. Yoon then calls Yuchen, issues a threat, demanding that he hand over a significant portion of shares from their upcoming major project. The latter argues that the project is for public benefit and not for profit, but Yoon remains insistent, warning that Xiao will be harmed if Yuchen rejects the proposal. Elsewhere, Xiao walks along the streets, encountering a little boy who asks for a donation. Just as she's about to interact with the boy, his supposed mother arrives and pulls him away. Suspicious of the situation, Xiao follows them. At the same time, two masked thugs attempt to kidnap her. Fortunately, an unknown dashing young man comes to her aid and fights off the attackers. Yuchen also arrives at the scene and rescues Xiao. During the commotion, our heroine falls and loses consciousness, prompting Yuchen to rush her to the hospital. Later, when Xiao awakens in the hospital, she's relieved to see Qiming by her side. The two talk, and a while later, the young man who had fought for her earlier enters the hospital room. Xiao expresses her gratitude to him for saving her life. Just then, Yuner arrives and scolds Xiao, informing her that Yuchen also sustained injuries while protecting her. Meanwhile, Yuchen is in his office discussing with his secretary the need to analyze a pattern and uncover the sender of the threatening messages to Xiao. He suspects that the attack on her was premeditated and is determined to bring the perpetrator to justice. Later, Uncle Yoon meets with Song and hatches a plan to target Xiao once again. Before executing the plan, he contacts Qiming and pressures him to relay a message to his brother. He warns that Yuchen must protect Xiao adequately, or else she will face dire consequences. Acting swiftly, Qiming contacts Yuchen and alerts him about Xiao being in danger, urging him to ensure her safety. With limited information, Yuchen asks for Xiao's location, and both brothers rush to her aid. The scene then shifts to Xiao, who is with Hua, Yuchen's driver, at the hospital parking lot. As they're about to leave, a group of Yun's henchmen attack Hua, leaving him badly injured. The assailants then turn their attention to Xiao, but before they can harm her, Qiming arrives and fends them off. Yuchen also appears on the scene, and together, the brothers confront the henchmen, teaching them a lesson. After the altercation, Qiming scolds Yuchen for not safeguarding Xiao properly. He angrily mentions that he is ready to take her away if he can't protect her. This enrages Yuchen, who reminds Qiming that Xiao is already married to him and is his sister-in-law. Yuner arrives at the scene as well, scolding Xiao for not staying home, but Yuchen intervenes and advises her to stay silent. He then turns to Xiao and tells her that she will stay with him in his house until the situation is resolved. Afterward, at Yuchen's residence, Xiao is in her room pondering why he has feelings for her amidst the numerous beautiful girls around him. Right then, Yuchen enters the room and reassures her that none of the other girls are beautiful compared to her. He then leans in closer to her, almost about to kiss her. Blushing, Xiao closes her eyes, and when she opens them, she finds Yuchen sleeping beside her. The following day, Xiao stands outside a building when Uncle Yoon's men suddenly abduct her again and force her into a van. At the same time, Yuner is kidnapped from her workplace using chloroform, and both girls are taken to a storage room. It's revealed that Song is orchestrating these abductions under Uncle Yoon's orders, accompanied by the mysterious guy who saved Xiao earlier. Next, Uncle Yoon contacts Yuchen, informing him about the kidnappings of his beloved girls. He then demands that Yuchen hand over the majority of shares in their big project to ensure their safety. Realizing his responsibility and fearing for their lives, Yuchen reluctantly agrees and arranges a meeting with Uncle Yoon. Meanwhile, Song and her accomplice torture Yuner and Xiao, pressuring them for information about a particular girl. Fortunately, Qiming arrives just in time and uses a taser gun to incapacitate the bad guys. He then learns from the girls that Uncle Yoon had used Song to launder money through an orphanage. The scene then shifts to Yuchen, who meets with Uncle Yoon at his residence. Yuchen questions his uncle about the substantial share demands and learns it's to fund his son's medical treatment and safety. Yuchen then confronts him about his malevolent plans and threatens to expose his money laundering at the orphanage unless he surrenders to the police. He offers to take care of his son's treatment if Uncle Yoon agrees to his terms and turns himself in. In the final scene, Qiming brings the rescued girls to Yuchen. As soon as they arrive, Yuner apologizes to Yuchen for misunderstanding his intentions. Following this, when Xiao faces Yuchen, Qiming confronts his brother, asserting that he'll take Xiao away if she ever faces trouble again. Yuchen confidently replies that such a situation won't occur. Before everyone, he then embraces Xiao and proposes marriage to her. Xiao happily accepts, and the drama concludes here on a happy note, mentioning that all the culprits in the kidnapping case were punished.